starting with Weier from Aizip. So introducing Weier. Weier is currently the leading software, hardware, co-design, and so continuing he received his PhD in electrical engineering from Stanford. Has worked on designing efficient AI hardware systems to enable intelligence at the edge. His research work has been published in top journals and conferences, including Nature, International Solid State Circuits Conference, and the Symposium on VLSI Technology and Circuits. He's the first author of a monumental work published in Nature this year titled A Compute In-Memory Chip Based on Resistant Random Access Memory, and previously he received his master's in electrical engineering from Stanford and his bachelor in physics, electrical engineering, and computer science from University of California, Berkeley. So welcome, Weier, and Weier, you've got the floor.
All right. So today I'm going to introduce our industrial anomaly detection technology called RedV, and I'm going to show you its superior adaptability and accuracy, and I'm also going to tell you why it matters. So anomaly detection is not something new, right? For a long time, it has been a vital part of many different applications. But as we enter the era of IoT and Industry 4.0, just the variety and the number of sensors have really exploded. So they're generating data at such a pace that is difficult to transfer, to store, or to analyze all of them in real time. And therefore, we think anomaly detection technology should be playing an even more important role today. It can act as a gatekeeper to filter out important data from non-important ones, so the volume of the data is largely reduced. So for many data-heavy applications, such as predictive maintenance, health monitoring, and quality inspection, the anomaly detection technology is absolutely critical. So as we work on this technology, we realize that the key challenge is the diversity of the application and the data. So taking predictive maintenance as an example, so there are many different types of equipment, right? So there are pumps, compressors, elevators, and then for the same equipment, they can be configured to different settings or to perform different tasks. And now if we further consider the sensor aspect, so obviously there are different types of sensors, right? And the sensor data can be very sensitive to many factors, right? So including the encapsulation of the equipment and its surrounding environment, the position and orientation of the sensor, and the sensor configurations. While it may not be too difficult to develop an anomaly detector for one device under a specific set of configuration, the challenge is how to efficiently scale this to hundreds of other devices with infinite combinations of configurations. So a good anomaly detection solution needs to be easily adaptable, so this process can be highly scalable. So now, if we want to use the conventional deep neural network approach to build anomaly detectors, so the process is far from being scalable. So while it can be automated to a certain extent, it still involves too much human effort. So this process typically starts from the data collection. So typically it needs both normal data and anomaly data, but anomaly data can be hard to collect. And it's also very, very hard to cover all the failure modes or the defect types. So next, the data will need to be labeled by trained engineers. For time series, we need timestamps of the anomaly, and for defect detection, we would need locations of the defects. So this data labeling is typically a lengthy process and is prone to human error. And once the data is ready, the DNN models can be trained either from scratch or be fine-tuned. So for most computer vision tasks, the fine-tuning is a preferred method. So it starts from a model pre-trained on a larger labeled data set, and then we fine-tune it on our smaller data set. However, so this fine-tuning doesn't work well if there is a substantial difference between the pre-training data and the fine-tuning data. So unfortunately, this is often the case for the defect detection. Fundamentally, this is because the conventional supervised way of pre-training requires the labeled data set requires label data set, right? Such as the ImageNet. And they have limited scope and limited scale, and is usually designed for a specific downstream task, such as classification or detection. So they do not always generalize well to other data or to other tasks. So in summary, the conventional DNN approach is quite labor heavy and doesn't always work well. So the process is not scalable enough. So to address these challenges, we developed these new adaptable and robust anomaly detection technology, or ARED. So the key differentiator of ARED is that it uses the unsupervised or self-supervised learning. So in the past few years, this deep learning community has undergone this paradigm shift from the conventional supervised learning to the unsupervised learning. And it has been proven to consistently achieve superior performance across different modalities of the data, right? So from the GPTs in the natural language processing, and then to computer vision and to audio. So fundamentally, this is because the unsupervised pre-training no longer requires labeled data. The amount and the diversity of the unlabeled data used for the pre-training is usually several orders of magnitude higher than the labeled data set. And the pre-training also aims at learning a more generalized representation of the data rather than just a specific task like classification. As a result, the model can more easily adapt to different downstream tasks, such as anomaly detection. So the ARED technology not only uses the unsupervised pre-training, it also gets rid of the lengthy data labeling process. So with ARED, you no longer need to collect anomaly data. You only need the normal data. And instead of doing fine-tuning, ARED uses the more efficient process called registration. So during the registration, the pre-trained model extracts features from the normal data and store them into a memory bank. So importantly, this model and its weight remain the same for all the applications. And there's no need for data labeling and no need for model retraining. So this way, we substantially shorten the model development cycle. And finally, the ARED also supports the on-device continuous learning. So in case the data distribution shifts over time. So we've developed a family of ARED model with different modality of data, right? So ARED-T stands for the time series, and ARED-A for audio, and ARED-V for vision, right? So the ARED-T and ARED-A are mainly used for predictive maintenance applications, while the ARED-V is mostly for the visual defect detection. So earlier this year, so we partnered with the Analog Devices to showcase ARED-T's capability at this prominent sensor conference called Sensor Converge. So we deployed ARED-T to Analog Devices' low-power wireless MCU, and the model running locally on MCU could perform anomaly detection on accelerometer data in real time. And this product won the Best of the Sensor award in the AI category. We've tested ARED-T on many datasets that span a wide variety of applications, right? So from water pumps, the ECGs, Mars rovers, and bearings. So the results on the left are for reference, and they're obtained using a classic supervised learning approach. So we compare their accuracy, which is measured by this ROC, AUC, and also their training time and model size. So we see that the ARED-T model, using just one single AI model, can achieve high accuracy across all the 27 datasets. While the classic approach would fail on some datasets, such as water pump, the ARED-T's performance is a lot more consistent. And it does so without a need to retrain or to fine-tune for each individual application. So the registration process the ARED requires is a lot faster than the retraining. So we also benchmarked the ARED-T in a 2021 competition, and it can achieve an accuracy close to the winning team. But the winning team uses an ensemble of 10 models, while we only use a single model. So similarly, we've tested ARED-V, which stands for vision, on 15 different defect detection datasets, including capsule, hazelnut, transistors, and leather. So again, RedV can achieve better and more consistent results than the conventional method, while doing so with just a single model without retraining. In addition, the RedV model will also output a heat map that tells you where the defects are, so the results are explainable. RedV has won customer evaluation across multiple product categories, including chip, screw, and fabric. The first integration of RedV is currently underway in a factory, and it is deployable to various platforms such as CPUs, GPUs, and MCUs. So looking forward, anomaly detection is really just the very first step of the whole predictive maintenance or quality inspection pipelines. So as I said earlier, we see anomaly detection as a gatekeeper to filter out interesting data for collection. And there is a lot more we can do with the filtered data. So for example, we can do more in-depth failure diagnosis, right? So we can automatically classify anomaly data and match the classes with the actual faults. So going even one step further, we might even be able to predict the exact timing of failure and the time span of the devices by learning the correlation from the historical data. So we really see many applications in this industrial space where AI and tinyML can shine. And at Aizip, we will continue to broaden our AI model family for these various industrial use cases. And that summarizes my talk. And thank you, everyone.